It's Doris. My name's Tracy.
Yep. I'm Doris.
That's my sister.
Yeah. Hi.
So, today we are talking about needs and wants. And the reason why we're talking about needs and wants is because there's a lot of things people may think as a want, but in actuality, might be a need, or vice versa.
Yeah, because sometimes people may want something so bad they think it's a need because they want it so bad. So, we decided as part of the adulting lessons we're trying to give to let people know the difference between an actual need and want.
And the reason why we're in this position today is because we're old. And I'm very tired. She's still sick. So we're just doing this in a really weird position. So anyway, let's get started. Think about needs in your life. What are things that you need? Something that you literally cannot live without. As a matter of fact, that's the definition of a need. It's something you literally cannot live without. Not what you think you can live without, but you literally cannot live without.
That's right. A need is a requirement for your survival.
That is right. Some of these needs are characterized, and it's, I don't care what part of the world you're in, everybody needs these things. Food.
Shelter.
Clothing.
That's it.
Of course, we'll add air and water in there too, but
Yeah, we all know the number one need is air. If you don't think so, you go ahead and hold your breath for 10 minutes and you send a stat. And,
let us know in the comments how that works out for you.
Yeah, let us know.
Because, if you're still alive. So anyway, with the needs and the wants, it talks about food, clothing, and shelter. Now, used to be back in the day, in our ancestors, they were doing well to have, just a place to live, a little shack. Have their garden, have the garden for their food.
Fresh water,
and, maybe 2-3 outfits to wear for the year. They were okay with that. As you can see, now, not so much. To now, because of the way of our lives, especially in first world countries like the United States, people think, well, I need a car. I need internet. I need those Jordans.
Yeah.
But
I need to follow the trends.
Or I need to be able to relax, so I need my glass of wine, or to me to be able to go out. The thing about it is that you can survive not going out. You can survive not having Jordans. You can survive not having the latest and greatest fashions. And that's okay. It's all right. Because if you really think about the needs that you have, you might be able to save some money. Think about it.
Yeah. No one's saying that you got to go around without any, without any class or sense of, looking good or anything like that. It's just that when you are out there trying to make it and you really don't have a lot of money right now, you really have to make sure and know where your priorities lie first.
For instance, when I moved out, I was 19 years old. And I was very fortunate. I had a car. But I had to look for a place within my budget. And I was able to find that. It was a really nice 1-bedroom apartment. 1 bed, 1 bath. And it was on the bus line, which was nice because sometimes my car just didn't make it because it was an old car. But the thing about it is I was happy because I had some clothes. I had my shelter, and I had food. Now the thing about it is, and this is the thing about being an adult, sometimes being responsible will put you in the category of broke, because I had paid all my bills, I paid my rent, paid my LG&E, I paid my phone, I'm not talking about cell phone, I'm talking about, handheld phones, but from back in the day. we had paid all. I had paid all this stuff, and I realized and I paid for a little bit of gas, and I realized I had no money for food, none at all, and
that's happened to me before too. Yeah, so
it sucks, but everything that I needed was paid.
Yeah, and so there you go. I mean, there are, with food, shelter, and clothing, food doesn't mean that you're going to get steak to eat at $10 a pound, aged, grade A.
Wagyu, was it Wagyu? And Kobe. That's what it's.
Yeah. Or anything like that. It may mean just getting a basic loaf of bread, some canned tuna, and learn how to mix all that up, just as with clothes, like I said, the latest and greatest, you may not afford it, but there are many ways to still dress with class and with style that'll still meet your budget.
A wise man once said, "With food and clothing, we'll be content with these things," and that really is a good thing. If you may not have the greatest grace, but if you have your shelter, if you have your food, you have clothing, then you're actually not doing bad. And I'm saying this in the way that your needs, your most basic needs, are being met. So be content with those things. Everything else, we're trying to get fuzzy here. Don't worry, it'll adjust. Okay. It will happen. Everything else that happens after that, it becomes, it's more in the class of a true want. Now, I'm going to sit here and explain this to people. Now, with the way the world is, there are some other needs, and I like to call these secondary needs, because your first primary needs definitely is that food, shelter, and clothing. Your secondary needs would be things that help you to be able to live at a level where you can continue to keep going. Like, you need your internet so that you can maybe do your learning, so that you can access your bank account, so that you can, do resumes, things of that nature.
Or even if there's a situation where you need to know how to do a simple repair, YouTube is great for that.
Yes, it is.
So it's very, the internet can be a very good tool to help make your life easier. So it can be in the needs section, because quite honestly, a lot of places, especially if you're trying to look for a job or to get your education, it's almost impossible to do it now without internet access some kind of way.
Now, in some places, you may be able to get away with this other need, which is having a car. Now, in the metropolitan areas like, San Francisco, New York, it's not as big of a need because they have such a great, public transit system. But here in Louisville, where we are, there is a transit system, but it is not the greatest, and sometimes it doesn't run on the days that you may need it to. So, unfortunately, here in Louisville, having a car is almost a need. And it kind of sucks, because having a car comes with a whole other set of bills. Gas, insurance, repairs.
And if you couldn't pay for it outright, then a car payment.
Oh my goodness, yes. I've done car payment twice, and that was enough for me. I hate car payments. I really, really, really hate them. I really hate paying for anything on a payment system.
Yeah.
But we're not going to make this too long, because needs and wants are pretty black and white. Needs, again, are things that you need to survive.
And wants are things that you would like to have, not necessarily needing them for survival, but you would desire to have them. And that's when people run into trouble, when their desire is so great they feel they need it.
Yeah, desire can really get you into trouble if it's not controlled by you.
Right.
So we're going to end this here. What we're going to talk about next, though, is we already talked about the needs being your food, shelter, and clothing. We are going to talk about the ways you can minimize the cost for those basic necessities. Because let's be honest, when you get out of college or you get out on your own, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to make a whole lot of money. So these are ways to help you to stretch that dollar a little bit further. And we're going to talk about that in our next video. So until then, I'm Tracy.
I'm Doris.
And we're fuzzy. Well, we're fuzzy honey, fuzzy. We'll figure it out. Anyway, y'all have a good one. And if you want to leave any comments, please leave them below. And we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.